Religion without a personal encounter with Jesus Christ will not save the soul, and it will not bring the peace that your soul longs for. You may be a member of some other religion. You may be Catholic, Protestant, Jewish. You may be Hindu, Muslim. Whatever your background, you may not have any religion. You come to
The gospel, injil, singular, not Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or the 27 books of the Bible.
You will find everything he said in the gospel. Yes.
In the New Testament, according to Matthew, it states that he is preaching the gospel.
Yes.
In the Quran, it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him understanding of the Torah and gave him the injil.
But you just said something. No, you can. You said the Gospels, Matthew, according to Matthew, Mark, and Luke and John. What we should be saying is the Gospel, singular, according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Continue.
No.
I can see you pointed to the sources that back you up.
Yes.
It doesn't. For me, it's incoherent to say believe in these books that came before. You can't share with, and I'm not disparaging you, you can't share with me anything of the content of the books. You can't share with me anything about the people who use the books that might have left references that let's say a Christian group and a Jewish group that would also confirm what you're saying. And yet you're required to believe in them. And for me, that if you were to show me very clearly where Allah explicitly says in the Quran, do not believe in the books of the Christians or the Jews because they're corrupt, short of that, I would still struggle I haven't even begun to unpack the other verses that would say, but have you heard of, is it Waraka bin Nawfal?
Yeah, Waraka bin
Nawfal. I want to pronounce that properly. How do you say it?
Waraka.
Waraka
bin Nawfal.
You say it.
Waraka bin Nawfal.
He's been practicing. Waraka bin Nawfal. Right, so here in Bukhari 1:3, she took him to Waraka, who was a Christian convert, who used to read the gospel in Arabic.
Yeah.
So there was a gospel in Arabic at the time of Waraka, which would be about 670. Can I just finish? Then you can have as long as you want. And then Waraka would write the gospel in Hebrew as much as Allah wished him to. Waraka used to write the Arabic writing and used to write of the Gospels in Arabic as much as Allah wished. So we have evidence that the person who confirmed to Muhammad that the angel Jibril had passed the message to him actually had physical scriptures called the Gospels. Obviously not the Torah, because that was in the possession of the gospel. Okay, so how can you square that with not believing in something that obviously clearly was in existence? Or were these corrupt?
First of all,
all yours.
Yeah. First of all, you told me the name in English, gospel, or in whatever language.
Injil, yeah.
It's not in Arabic. First of all.
What does that mean? Sorry.
The book Allah gave to Prophet Jesus, as I said before.
Yes.
I've got over 10 reasons. The book that Christians have, which is the Bible, and the one Allah approved in the Quran, which is Injil, are not similar even. And as
I want to understand, this is a very important thing you're saying. Could you say it again?
Yes. The word in the Arabic was used. The word you use.
The Injil.
Injil is not found in Arabic gospel. And as I said to you, many reasons the book you have now from the Bible and from the Quran, both books confirms and affirms those books were corrupted, mostly specifically the Bible. And the reason I'm saying is...
When you say Bible, do you mean the Torah or the Injil?
The Injil specifically, the Bible is specific, not Injil. We Muslims do not believe the Bible is called Injil.
No, you believe the Gospel is called the Injil?
No, we don't believe that.
You don't believe the Injil is the Gospel?
No,
it's called the Gospel?
No, we believe Gospel, but we believe is Injil. Gospel, as I said...
Do you know what Gospel means?
Yeah, good news.
The good news,
Anyways, but Injil, let me give you one verse. I'll give you all the verses to refute the Bible is not the same as Injil, the one Allah has approved.
When you say Bible, the interchange is important that we differentiate between the Torah and the Injil, because the Injil are the books that the Christians are required to believe in, and the Torah are the books of the Old Testament.
Yeah. Okay, let me come to the point.
Yeah.
If I call this book Injil, and you got another book, you call it Bible, but you believe this Bible also is called Injil, the context is more important. So the context of Injil is not the Bible. We need to get that.
Let me tell me if I understand it. What you're saying is, when Allah uses the word Injil, He doesn't mean your modern day Bible. with the Old Testament and the Psalms and all of those things. No. When he says the Injil, he's specifically Injil. Can we just say the Injil, the etymology of Injil is found in the Islamic text and now used by Muslims. And not, can I just say this? Is derived from the Syriac Aramaic word awangalion, found in the Peshitta Syriac translation of the Bible, which in turn derives from the Greek. Evangelion is the Greek root that Injil comes from. Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Very quickly.
Yeah.
So in Matthew 4:23, Jesus was going throughout all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom. The gospel.
Yeah.
Injil. Singular. Not Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or the 27 books of the Bible.
You will find everything he said in the Gospels.
Bear with me.
Yes.
In the New Testament, according to Matthew, it states that he is preaching the gospel.
Yes.
In the Quran, it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him understanding of the Torah and gave him the Injil.
Gave him the Injil.
Gave Jesus, bear with me.
I want to understand.
Gave him the Injil. Okay, so the New Testament records Jesus preaching the gospel.
Right.
Singular.
Yes.
The Quran talks about Allah giving Jesus peace upon him.
Okay.
The Injil.
Okay.
Singular.
Right.
Bear with me.
Okay.
Bear with me.
Okay.
When we look at the
He's building his plan.
when we look at the
I'm excited. I am. I'm looking forward to it.
When we look at the Christian scripture, we call
The Gospels.
We call it the Bible. The Gospels, bear with me, the Gospels...
Not entirely
It
true.
was
but-
rhetorical.
Yeah.
The Gospels are the Gospels according to Matthew, Mark, Luke and John.
Yes.
Four
No,
Gospels.
you just
Bear
the
with me.
Gospels
Bear
according to
bear with me.
the
me
Gospel. But you just said something. No, you can. You said the Gospels, Matthew, according to Matthew, Mark, and Luke and John. What we should be saying is the Gospel singular according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Continue.
No. The matter of the fact is, there are four canonical Gospels, plural. Okay. So there are four Gospels according to Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. And then you've got other writings. And these writings constitute 27 books of the New Testament. We can see remnants within Matthew where Jesus preached the singular gospel. We look in the Quran where Allah gave Jesus what? The gospel, singular. When we look at the New Testament today,
I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Yeah.
when we look,
You're not preaching now, though.
when we look at the Bible is a compilation of what? Books, plural. How many
Biblos,
books?
Greek.
Thank you. How many books? 27. And within these 27 are how many Gospels? 4. That's all I've got to say.
Okay. Can I respond to your friend?
I'm giving another verse similar to this one in the Bible.
Brother, pass the
No,
floor
I'm just
back.
giving you one verse.
Pass him back.
No. I tell you what. You say what you. If you've got something to add to what he says before I respond, please do. Have you? Did you want to say something?
No, you can
Okay. My response to my friend here is right. When we say Jesus preached the gospel, according to the Christians who actually recorded the New Testament church, essentially, if you were to open up a red letter Bible, you will see every single word of Jesus written down and confirmed. Every time in the four Gospels, the Gospel according to Matthew, the Gospel according to Mark, Luke and John, meaning there was one Gospel, meaning the good news. If we look in all of those, in those four books, and we pull out all the red letters of Jesus Christ, okay, those would be the gospel according to the Christians. So for me, if I wanted to know what the gospel was, I would go and ask the community he established called the church, and I would ask them, what do you believe the gospel was? Because it predates Islam by 600 years. So I would not use for my exegetical model the Islam to look at Judaism and Christianity. I would first go to the Jews and the Christians and find out historically how they understood their own writings. But I think we're mission creeping from our original conversation that we were having, as in my original statement, which was quite a simple one. Why would Allah ask you to believe in some books that you also believed were corrupt at the same time?
Again, I told you, the book Allah is asking us,
Yeah.
Injil,
Yeah.
to believe it. It's not the Bible.
Okay. You know what? This
I
might
give you many
for
verses.
sure.
Like example now, chapter 5, verse 47,
Yeah.
Allah said Injil, that book was there Jesus' time.
Yeah.
And Jesus was preaching the book that was given by Allah.
I want to understand, right?
Yeah.
You're saying
Yeah.
at the time of Jesus' ministry, which would be the last 3 years of his life,
Yes.
he was preaching a book that God inspired in his head and his heart,
Yes.
that
was
he then
given,
went and...
was given.
Are you talking about physically given?
Yes.
Who wrote those things that were physically given to him?
Those books came from Allah. The author of that book.
How
is
did they
Allah.
become physical?
The book existed Jesus' time. It's like Quran. We believe it's like Quran. Physical.
See, historically, would you agree with my friend here? He said that Isa
Yes.
was given physically
Yes,
a
a
book
book like
called
Torah,
the Injil
Torah.
during his ministry here on earth.
Yes,
Would you agree with
he
that?
was given, yes, a book
Given a
in Islam.
physical book?
Yes.
Like this? He
Yes.
had a physical book. Would you
Yes.
agree with that?
In Islam, yes.
Do you agree with that?
No,
No,
in
no,
Islam,
no.
yes.
No.
No, in Islam, I'm giving you the verse. Yes, a book. He was given a book. That book came down from Allah. Because Allah said, Bima anzalallah. He used same as the Quran. Well, who reveals the Quran? Allah. And who's the author of Quran? Allah. The author of Injil
I can
is
see
Allah.
how you're taking that literally, but historically that can't have been the case.
No, I'm using my Quran. I'm using the Quran because you are using
Right.
the Quran
Yeah.
to justify your points.
Okay, so
I'm
you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'm using the Quran to disapprove. The Bible is not the book
Right.
that was given to Jesus.
Okay, just so I don't misrepresent you
Yes.
or I don't lie. I mean, it's very important that when we so I need clarification
You know
from
how
you.
I
need
why I say, let me
clarification
give
from
you.
you.
one verse in the Quran.
Okay,
Allah
go
said,
on.
وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْإِنْجِيلَ.
What does that say?
We gave Jesus Injil, the book Injil.
Okay, and the
also he
translation of
said
the word book actually means scripture. Actually means
Yes,
scripture.
the same as the Quran. You understand that?
I can see how you can make a case out of that, but Muslims
Yes.
don't believe it.
No, we believe that. The book that was given to Jesus is not Bible.
I think
Bible
the
was
majority of Muslims would understand that as the inspiration, as in it was given to,
No.
it was transmitted
That book,
to
the
Jesus
author-
mentally in his
Let me give you an
mind,
example.
but not
Do
a
you see-
physical
do you
book.
see- let me tell you the difference.
Okay.
Bible and Injil. Let me tell you. The Bible, there is no single verse in the Bible where God talks straightforward in the Bible.
Where God actually talks
Yes,
in the Old
Bible.
Testament.
No,
there
in
is.
New Testament.
In the New Testament.
Yes. So
Okay,
New
yeah.
Testament cannot be the Gospel Injil because Injil, Allah is the
Okay.
one who's speaking.
Okay, let's assume
The
you're
author
correct.
is Allah.
Let's follow this through.
Yeah.
If we assume
Yeah.
that my Muslim brother here is correct, and when he says that Jesus,
Yes.
the Messiah,
Yeah.
was in possession
Yeah.
with a physical book,
Yes.
like a scroll or a parchment,
and that
and
book
that
was
was the
revealed
book
by Allah.
when he preached the gospel, he would have read from the book he was given by God.
Yes, that's why in the Bible even it says
Right.
Jesus had a book. It was indicating an object. In chapter
And it was
Ma-
uncorrupt.
Let me give you
That
yes.
book that Jesus had
Yes,
was
that book now
uncorrupt.
we don't have it.
Was there only one copy?
Yes, we copy from Allah. The author of that book is Allah.
And it's lost.
It's lost. But the Christians, they took that book and edited, corrupted, and wrote a lot of things. And they said, this is the one Allah exactly was talking about. The reason we are saying the Injil is not the Bible, let me give you now. example.
Yeah, go on.
Allah said, Bima anzal. You know the word anzala means came down.
Okay, yes, yeah.
So
yeah.
Allah said also use the word Quran. When Allah was talking about the Quran, He said He is the one who revealed above,
Yes.
from above. Allah
Yes.
has sent down the Quran physically, not the book.
Right.
He gave the message to Angel Jibril.
Yes.
So those words, what I've been reciting,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
book Jesus had.
Yes.
We don't know when it was written, but Jesus' time had a book.
Right.
You agree with me?
Jesus
it's
had
like Moses.
a book.
Let me give it. It's like Moses.
Yeah.
The message of the Quran. The author is Allah. Same as the Quran, the author of Injil, the message who was passing the Injil, those messages
yeah.
from Allah was Angel Jibril. He used
Okay.
to bring the revelation to prophets,
Right.
Moses and Jesus.
Sure.
So Jesus, we don't know who wrote his book, but his
Right.
time he had
had
a
a
book.
copy- he had a copy
yes,
of
a
this
copy
book.
of that book. We don't know when it was
Okay.
written, but Jesus' time had a book.
The only problem, perhaps, with that presentation is this:
Yes.
that according to Christians, and you can't separate the Christians from their scriptures, especially the earliest ones, is that historically they were the witnesses of Jesus Christ, who was the subject of the gospel. They always believed that when we talk about gospel, this is about the Christ message, which involves not just the things Jesus said, the things that Jesus did also, as recorded by the earliest witnesses. Now, it's impossible for that to dovetail with your explanation that Jesus actually came with a physical book that he then shared, which was the gospel. Because if that was the case, I would need to ask you what was in that book that he had, that you accept, and also the community of people, the very earliest Christians, which you would say were the true Christians, do their writings also affirm the thing that you're about to say? That's what I would need to know.
All I'm saying, even in the Bible, in the book, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter
All right, in the New
24,
Testament, yeah.
Chapter 24.
Yeah.
I think chapter 24, verse 14. I think chapter 24, verse 14. I think.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the other way around.
Sure. Yeah. Go
Okay.
on.
Jesus was saying, this gospel, this. We know the word that this means. He was pointing an object. He said, this gospel.
This
Gospel will be preached. This gospel.
What makes you think it was physically in his hand?
Because that, according to Islam, Jesus, he was given a book. The author of that book is Allah, same as Quran. The Quran, Allah gave it to Angel Jibril to teach Prophet Muhammad, and Prophet Muhammad's companion were written down.
For sure.
The Quran.
And
so same as this applies.
Okay,
also
so you're
to
saying
the book of
that verse
Yes.
actually confirms what you previously said about it being a physically book,
Yes.
because he says, see this gospel,
Yes.
and you're saying he's
Will be
actually got the
preached.
couple of it in
Yes.
it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
the earliest writings of the Christians, which predate the final canon of the Bible, they actually affirm that the gospel was preached by Jesus Christ. Preached meaning it was spoken, and it was only written down after it was spoken. This is a historically understood acceptance of the people of the book, the earliest Christians. None of them, there is no evidence from any early Christian source that Jesus Christ ever had a physical gospel in his hand, where he ever lifted it up. None of what you said can be historically verified.
No, I'm not using historically.
Well,
I'm
this is
using the
important.
Bible.
This
I'm
is
using the Bi-
important.
No, which one comes first? Me, if you're asking me myself, historical, history, or my Quran, I believe Quran over
you know what, this
history.
is a really important point. So
Christians-
chicken or egg, which came first? Let's see. The church came before the Bible. The Bible are the writings of the church. This is historically what Christianity was. Not the other way around. It wasn't a book that then made a community.
What I'm saying,
That's historically the truth.
What I'm saying is, I rely on the Quran and the teaching of Prophet instead of history. Because Christians, sometimes they believe history over their Bible. Sometimes they believe scientists over the Bible. Sometimes they believe scientists over the Quran.
Okay,
so it's
sorry.
contradiction. So now, clearly, let me make it clear for you.
Yeah, I want to understand.
The book now Christians have, and Christians are not the followers of Jesus. Because
You don't believe
even
the Christians
according
are the
to
followers
Islam,
of Jesus?
According to Islam, the book that was given to Jesus, it was written in his mother language. In his
Aramaic?
Yes, according to you.
So, sorry,
Yeah.
say that again. You,
Every prophet in the Quran,
Right.
chapter 13.
not Greek.
No, Greek. According to Quran, chapter
That's-
3. Let me give you.
Okay,
According
you
to
can give
Quran,
it to me, but we'll
chapter
see.
3,
Yes.
chapter 13, verse 4, Allah is telling us every prophet was sent in his mother language,
Okay,
in his people's language.
right.
So when we come to cross, Jesus' language was not Greek language.
Okay,
It wasn't Greek language.
okay. Can I?
So
Can
now
I? Can
another
I?
point I'm making,
Go on.
Bible cannot be the book which Allah approved.
Because it's in Greek.
Yes. And that book, Allah
Okay.
said in chapter 3, verse 49,
Right.
that book was for only the children of Israel.
Could I respond? Could I respond? And then we'll kind of wrap it up, because you've probably got lots more other conversations you want to have. Right, historically, this is what even non-Christian experts in history, they're just a historical timeline as this in Christianity. There was a man called Jesus Christ. Bear with me, I'm not going to go over everything I've said before. And he called together followers who were the witnesses to the things Jesus said and the things Jesus did. And my friend's right, he spoke in Aramaic. Aramaic was the common tongue. However, the written language at the time in Judea was Greek, because the Greek diaspora under Ptolemy, the Greek language when it comes to writing in the whole of the classical ancient world was Greek, because it was the language that could be spread around the known world. If it kept just in Aramaic, all it would do would just be a language that no one else would understand. So can I just say this? So we've got categorically, injil, root comes from the Greek, not from the Aramaic. It's from Greek through Aramaic to Islam in Injil. So unfortunately, even though my friend makes a passionate case, when it comes to the Injil, I'm still totally unconvinced that Jesus, first of all, had physically a book given to him by God, and I also am unconvinced that Allah would ask anyone to believe in something that was corrupt at the time he said believe in it. But after that, I just want to say, no,
clearly from the Quran. So one thing now, let me ask you.
Yeah, you may.
Okay, do you believe Jesus is the way and the truth?
I do, and the life.
Thank you. Okay. Jesus is the way and the truth.
Yeah.
All prophets same are the way and the truth. Otherwise, God would not send those prophets to their people to guide them. Not only Jesus is the way and the truth. Also, before Jesus, previous prophets, were the way and the truth to their people.
But they want the life as well. It says the way, the truth, and the full verse. The full verse.
Christians.
I'll put this away. I'll put this away so you know I'm not pulling anything out anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh cheers.
So, let me finish with one point.
Yeah, sure.
If Jesus is the way and the truth, and you believe so,
and the life, yeah.
And the life, you believe so. Tell me any reason, valid reason, you would claim to be the follower of Jesus. One question I'm asking.
Why I would claim to be the follower of Jesus.
Why would you claim you to be the follower of Jesus when Jesus never practiced Christianity or never worshipped triune God?
Okay, man. We can have a longer discussion on the Trinity.
Can I come and pray? Is it?
Yeah, no, you.
What is it time?
Give God the first things, otherwise it's not going to go well for you. Yeah. Well, all I'll say just very quickly in answer to that is the Jews believed in God the Father and God the Spirit, and the Christians believed that Jesus Christ was God, the New Testament Christians. You put the three together and you've got the subjects of the Trinity found in the early creeds, especially the Nicene creeds. Thank you. That's my answer. That's my answer.
You're not getting the point.
Right.